Welcome to Soccer as We Like It, the Man United direction. We have a lot to talk about, breaking news, shocking news, and what have you. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, don't forget to like, share, subscribe as we go right into the end, as we go right to the coming to the end of the season with 4 games to go for Manchester United. As you know, the current form is currently, I would say personally, is absolutely just not good enough. Bad goals, can't score, conceding weak goals, calamity mistakes from De Gea. It just seems there seems to be an absolute problem. But Ten Hag has to turn this around very quickly and in a hurry. Because as we say this, as the season comes to a climax, United's form, United not playing this week, gives them enough time to rest to play Wolves on Sunday. There should be no excuses. Can be no excuses for the Sunday game against Wolves at Old Trafford. They've messed up the game against West Ham, messed up the game against Brighton. So United have completely lost momentum with the top four. They are still in the top four, but are trying and hanging in there. When I mean hanging like with a piece of cloth. But I'll say this one more time. United have got to get it together. They say United need 9 points. But this team, this very team, will make 9 points harder than pulling a tooth out of a lion's mouth when the lion's even sleeping. A simple thing, United make it into a harder thing, and that's where United seem to have an absolute problem. And this is where United fans seem to be having high blood pressure, stress, divided fan base, because this team is very unpredictable. They've been poor, they blow hot and cold, they're not consistent. It is just all over the place. But as the team is staggering and staggering, 1 point was, you see, the opportunities are there. But United failed to capitalize, and that's where United came to keep messing and fucking up. But Newcastle were there for the taking. They lost at home to Arsenal, a game everyone thought they won't lose. They lost it. Instead of United to, all they needed to do was beat West Ham. They lost because olive oil David De Gea's gloves. The ball slipped right through him. But United could not score. Missing chances, create chances, don't score. Too selfish, won't pass. When they need to pass, they will shoot. When they need to shoot, they won't pass. So it's an absolute shit show. And it's absolutely shambolic. But as I say this, and I keep saying this, and I've said this time after time, things have got to improve. You can't go this way and play Man City in the champion in the FA Cup semi-finals. You will get slaughtered. When I mean slaughtered, you will be slaughtered. So United really have to get this together. So on another note, the Qatari ownership, Sheikh Jassim has come out to say, if I buy United, I would like ex-players to be part of this journey. When he's talking ex-players, I think a lot of us United fans came to think like, huh? Ex-players? People like who? Who's got the experience? Who's he going to talk about? The pundits? Roy Keane, Paul Scholes, Rio Ferdinand, Andy Cole, Peter Schmeichel. So where would he fit all these ex-players in? Yes, they were winners. The class of '99 were winners on the field. But in terms of managerial, behind the scenes, board level, I don't think any of them are literally qualified. None of them have been technical directors. Some of them have been managers and have failed at certain levels. In fact, none of them have been successful apart from Steve Bruce, who has more managerial experience, and Mark Hughes. Other than that, but they're still not the level at Manchester United. But you look at this from all angles, right? Look at this from another perspective. Um, if you're going to be United at this point, you want the best of the best. You are not looking for mediocrity. You're not looking for, oh, because you guys were so good in the 90s, you won the treble. That was on the field. But managerial wise, director wise, board level wise, I just cannot see it. We have tried the ex player. I'll come to that. We've tried it and it has catastrophically, astronomically, fundamentally failed. So why are we going back to that? Even Jassim, he should know to have the best. You want director of sports, you need to be looking at people like Mitchell. You want to look at sports directors, people like the guy who's the sporting director of Sevilla, sporting director of Atletico Madrid. These people of high intense caliber. I'll even take Van der Sar, who's doing a great job at Ajax, than Rio Ferdinand. You need someone who knows the market, who knows the foreign market, the Asian market, the South American market, the African market. People who know, have a broad network. No people going to learn on the job. This is not OJT on job training. No. If you want a job of high level, yes, you will be trained, but you need to come in there with a repertoire of experience, a portfolio, a catalog, something to fall back. Like, I scouted these players, I provided this. That is why Ralph Ranick should have been allowed to do his job. But because this club doesn't like being told the correct thing, don't like to be told the truth, they could not handle the truth. Can they handle the truth? No, they couldn't handle. The guy said this team needs open heart surgery, like 10 players out, 10 players in. You know what they did? You are spoiling the brand. We are going to ship you out. The same 10 players, I think they're still in this club. Exactly my point. So I think the thought of bringing ex players in to be part of this journey, I think is an absolute bad move. I think it's a bloody bad move. I think it's a bloody bad move because none of them have the absolute credentials. Who is it? Gary Neville? Going to be what? Head of communications? That guy who is a snake who has no loyalty to anyone but himself? Keane? Nah, I don't know. With Keane, he says it as is. I love Roy Keane, but I don't know where he's going to fit in there. Who else? Rio. Uh, I don't know where I'm going to put Rio. Head of training? I don't know. Defenders training, how to in head of defenders, how to coach. Then you're going to have too many chefs in the kitchen. If I'm buying a club that amount of money, I'm not buying some because I want to please the ex players. I don't want them to criticize me. I'm going to put them in roles that I know are just going to learn on the job. No, I'm going to go and get the best of the best to take the team to the top. Not, you know what? They're just going to learn. No, no, we've passed the learning stage. We have passed the learning stage. We have passed that stage. We are done. So we are not going to go down this road. We're done. We ain't doing this. We're not going to do this. I think this is a fundamental flawed. I don't know why we want to go and pick up ex players. Yes, we already have players who run part. Ryan Robson, an ambassador of the club, and Cole follows the club on tour, so he's part of the ambassadorial global phenomenon. Why do we need ex players in the boardroom who have no experience? It to me sounds like we're just doing the old boys club again. When we've done that, we've done the Mike Phelan, we've done the Ole, we've done it, and it did not work. It was, in fact, was an absolute catastrophe, an absolute catastrophe. So we are not going to do that again. We are done doing that model. Now, over the last couple of weeks, Talk Sport, Sky Sports, some pundits, not Man United pundits, have been saying Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the 2.5 seasons he was there, he lost 8 games and 6 games. One season he lost eight. That in those 2 seasons he lost 8 and 6 games separately, separate individual seasons. That Eric Ten Hag has lost 9 in his first season. Let me try and understand. What they are trying to say is Ole lost less games. Ten Hag has lost more games than Ole. That's what they're trying to say. But I know you guys are too smart to be fooled by the okie dokie. You see what I mean? Because this, my people, is absolute nonsense. What they're trying to tell you is Ole is a better coach than Ten Hag. That I find it hard to comprehend. And I'm literally, when I heard it, I was completely discombobulated. And like, how the hell can they say He has a. Sometimes the stats don't tell the whole picture. Ole drew a lot of games. When I mean drew, just one season he drew like 10 games. Just because you don't win and you draw doesn't mean it's a fantastic result. Ole's football was literally rubbish. He was a great player. Don't quote me, say, oh, Tim said Ole was rubbish. No. As a player, he was phenomenal. As a manager, he was absolutely just not good enough. He was, this was a guy who relegated Cardiff, Cardiff, and was given a job to manage Man United. The rest is history. He was flawed. He did not know what to do. He could not change tactics. He could not live with the big boys. He was just doing, make it work. Have a nice day, guys. We'll make it work. You sit back, hit them on the break, hit them on the run. Even at home, United to sit back against Burnley, sit back against Fulham, and try hit them on the break. That football was never gonna win it because it was too predictable. It was too one-dimensional. You can't win anything like. That's why we never won any trophies. That's why we got to what 3 semi-finals, lost. Listen, and the audacity to say it's not about winning trophies. Now that took the cake. You see what I mean? That took the bloody cake. Saying it doesn't matter if you don't win trophies. Considering he came from a trophy Latin background with Man United at its pinnacle of domination of football. You're saying it doesn't trophy don't matter? Get the fuck out of here. Eric Ten Hag is a better. I'm gonna say this right now. Eric Ten Hag is a better coach. He has some bad players in his squad currently who need to be removed and sent packing. His bench is weak. He hasn't got all the resources and all the tools required. His defenders are better. Players have improved under Ten Hag compared to. Tell me what players improved under Ten Hag under Ole. Let me see. Fred, McTominay, Maguire, Lindelof, Wan-Bissaka, Rashford, Marshall. None of them improved. Not a single one person improved. None. In fact, they became worse. So, why will anyone in the right frame of mind say, even the ex Sky pundit, Jim White, said Ole lost less games than Ten Hag? Ten Hag and Ole are not in the same level. Oranges and apples. Ten Hag is hair, Ole's hair. Completely different levels. He managed in Ajax, in Holland, different league. Ole managed in the Premier League and was a fraud. When I mean a fraud, he was just winging it, just managing it. But he got exposed because when teams who played football, Ole had no clue. He didn't know what to tell them because he had no idea. He just sit back, hit them on the break. Sit back, hit them on the break. Bro, a guy who does not